What's up, everybody? It's Terminator Juice, and back for another Juice Opinions. For those that are here live, sorry for the late start. I just got to do a rant real quick. Fucking iTunes, absolutely so frustrating on PC. I don't know if it's better on Mac. You got to jump through goddamn hoops every time you want to fucking put a CD on your iTunes or you download some songs. So picked up this CD, Kane Brown, kind of it's country, but it isn't. Got some good songs. I pick up the CD, got it for $9, and I rip it to my computer, and it's nowhere to be found in my iTunes library. I'm looking under K, nothing there. Scroll to the bottom. Oh, Kane Brown Deluxe Edition, various artists. So okay, I know the trick by now. You got to go into album info. You got to change the artist from various or mixed to just either clear it or put the one artist, even though a lot of CDs or artists, music these days, it's everybody wants credit. So it's so-and-so plus so-and-so. And, it's just that nonsense. So everyone wants credit. So switch the album artist, or delete the album artist, and just leave the artist as Kane Brown, the CD as Kane Brown. And I sync my iTunes or my iPod. Guess what wasn't on there? Fucking Kane Brown. So I had to go back in and switch the album artist to say Kane Brown because, that said various or mixed at first. And then it pops up. And then I notice the Maren Morris album I downloaded, which I did not buy physically. I first started with a couple songs, and I said, no, I really like her. I'm going to download the whole album and support her for an additional $6. And it puts all the songs out of order. And it's like, so then I delete them. And then it only shows 9 out of the 11 songs. And then when it syncs the second time, it duplicates all the fucking songs. And I'm sorry, this is a video game channel, but god damn it, iTunes. God damn it. How the fuck can you be so ass backwards when you are the leader, the front runner, the top thing when it comes to music? It's just so frustrating. Every time I do a CD now, I got to jump through hoops. I got to change this. I got to figure out what's got to be changed so the damn thing shows up, and then the album art shows up. So that's why I'm 13 minutes late to my start time, and I just had to get that off my chest. And I just want to say, fuck you, Apple, for your stupid iTunes. I've been buying songs on there for years. I have so much invested in there. I should look at alternative options to importing my library somewhere else. But, I like to buy my music for anybody that's asking in the chat. I like to support the artist and buy the music, give people that are that talented and actually pay them to listen to their music. I know some people don't do that, and a lot of people don't do that, but I like to support the person and people and, give them actual money for what they do, their hard work and their talent they put in. So anyway, let's get on to this video game stuff. And let's start with Sonic Farces, as I like to call it. Sega, you didn't have one job, but you had a job. And how you fucked up big time is when Sonic fans, most of them, can't even try to say the game's even okay. When you got Robert of Gaming With Me wanting to smash his cartridge because he just says it's absolute shit. Best Buy wouldn't even take it back on trade-in. They said it's not in their system. So when Robert says it's something shit, it's going to be shit. When Terrell really can't say even really a positive, that this game is absolute shit. And I say farces because it's a farce that Sonic the Hedgehog has been demoted to the point where people don't even expect the game to be good anymore. Sonic Mania, $20 game, had some help from the mod community or whoever that dude is and wherever he came from, and people like the game. It's basically Just it's a remake / new stuff in there. People like that. But with the mainline Sonic team, since basically this is their first game since Sonic Lost Worlds, which I thought was a average to below average game, but a lot of potential. I liked the way, some of the worlds were like a tube that kind of spun around. It was better than just running forward and you have middle, left, and right path. There was some of that in Sonic Lost Worlds. That game just needed some polish. Probably need another 6 months of development time or whatever. Maybe Nintendo's help to really make that a good game. But when it's been since that came out in 2013, now here's your first big mainline Sonic game. And you guys it seems to me that they're trying to listen to all the fan base and try to please them all at once. A lot of the Sonic fans, it seems, like custom characters. They like to make their own on DeviantArt and stuff. Oh, let's put in custom characters in. A lot of, I still like classic Sonic. Oh, let's throw classic Sonic in there. Oh, but instead of doing what Nintendo does, or I'm not sure any other company does this, but come up with an idea, a gameplay mechanic, like Cappy, for instance, for Mario, something for Sonic to do, and build, test it. It's fun. Then build a fucking game around it. What? I don't know. Maybe it is hard because Nintendo, they make it look easy, but it seems like no one else can figure this out. Why the fuck are you throwing this game together with all these different play styles? Basically, like Terrell said, it's the most auto-controlled game he's played out of all the Sonic games, and almost every review says the same thing. There's so much of the game where you're doing nothing, you're watching, and to have sloppy controls and just scattered ideas thrown into one game without focus, it's just unacceptable. And I asked this question to the guys from the podcast based on what Sean Long said. And, I like Sean Long. I have no problem with him. But basically, he was saying that Sonic Forces is not a good game, but it's decent. It's okay. And that's fine because, A, he saw the price tag's $40, so he knew not to expect a great game, an Odyssey level game. And B, there's nothing wrong with middleware type games. Now, there is nothing wrong with middleware type games. Not every game has to be some big budget AAA, game. And budget titles are great. Nintendo did it on the Wii U. Sonic Lost Worlds was a budget title, technically at $50. But here's the question, and this is going to be a big topic for the Juices Loose, so I'm not going to go too much into it. Is the price tag of $40, is that acceptable to have a bad game? Drop it down to $40. Now it's okay to have a bad game? Because I see quite a few people saying, well, it's only $40. So $40, a $20 price cut doesn't mean a bad game. It shouldn't mean a game that can't control good and it is just basically crap. $40 to me should be, well, they didn't have the biggest budget, or it's not super long, like Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. That was a $40 game. Some of the best visuals on the Wii U, super polished. Not the longest game. It took me over about 21 hours to 100% that game. Justification, a great game, played great. Whether you like the touchscreen controls or not, it worked well. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, $40 game. One of the best looking games on the Wii U. Great tight controls. Beautiful music. Amazing visuals. Just a shorter game, not their top tier game. Obviously, about less than a year development cycle. Didn't have a big budget. That's $40 game. Perfect. Sonic Forces, a game it's been 4 years since the last one. Okay, they dropped down to $40. That told me, hey, this isn't going to be a long game. But to some people, that's a good excuse for it being a bad game and having bad controls and being completely unpolished. That is completely unacceptable. I don't give a shit if the game's $10. If it plays that poorly, it's not even worth $10. Quit making excuses for a bad game. and admit the truth. When a game's bad, I hope I never have to make a video about a 3D Mario game and try to justify its being bad because of my Nintendo fanboy and Mario's my favorite franchise. I hope I never have to do that. I just really hope I don't. Maybe I will. If Nintendo ever made a bad Mario game, maybe I'd be that guy. I don't know. But it's just ridiculous to me, the whole notion, well, it's only $40, so it's okay. No. Well, middleware games are fine, so it's okay that this game's middleware. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. I know it's not the 16-bit era, but you're okay that mainline Sonic game made by the Sonic team is middleware or a budget title or just not a great game. Maybe Sonic Boom, I could understand some of that mindset, but with a mainline, I really feel sorry for certain Sonic fans if most of them are just admitting, hey, this isn't a great game, but there are a few where still trying to justify why it's bad and that's okay. So enough about that. Even though I am fired up still about that stupid iTunes. If you missed the beginning, just so frustrated with iTunes sometimes. But anyway, the title of this video, this is my confessions. Hopefully to any music fans out there, you get that, where that's from, part 1 and 2. I changed it to part 1 and 2. Usher, if you know who that is, yeah, Usher. It's one of his song titles. I think he did 2 songs like that. But first confession is, forget my last juice opinions. Basically everything I said. Super Mario Odyssey, ranking the Mario games, it was all bullshit because I've been thinking about this for a week straight, if not more, probably ever since that juice opinions, whenever that went up. I cannot honestly look into the camera and honestly rank the Mario games. I can't do it. It changes every fucking day. The only thing I know for certain is that my favorite 2D Mario game is Super Mario World. That is the only fact I can give. So all the stuff I was talking about, Mario Odyssey being tied for 4th with the 3D games, you could tell we watched that video. Once I thought about it, I was like, do I really have Galaxy 1 below 64? Is that nostalgia? I can't. All I can tell you is all the 3D Mario games, well, all but one are really great across the board, with not everyone's top tier. Sunshine, for its time, I enjoyed it, but I was frustrated most of the time. And to me, when you to complete a Mario game at that time was to get 120 stars. And the fact that they wanted me to search for all these ridiculously shitty hidden blue coins, whatever. But the rest of the game, controlling Mario was fun. The flood was actually fun. The parts where they took it away, there were some really ridiculously hard sections that were unfairly hard due to sometimes you could walk on a slope and other times he would slip and slide and fall off for no reason. There were some inconsistencies. It wasn't a polished game, but it wasn't a terrible game. It's still like a 8 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. 3D Land, that's probably the next lowest for me. Those two, definitely the next lowest. I mean, 3D Land, it's Sunshine and 3D Land are the bottom 2 for sure. Everything else, I just can't say with certainty where they lay in order from 1 through 7 with Odyssey in the mix. Because if I really think about it, I'm gonna be honest, I was talking about Odyssey's replay value. I had Galaxy 2 as my number 1. I've never played that a second time. I only played it the first time, and I didn't get all 200 or 120 green stars or whatever. I got the 120 stars, loved every second of that, and then got like 80 of the green stars, and then I haven't touched the game since. Galaxy 1, I got 120 stars with Mario. I got 119 stars with Luigi, and I had that the very last purple coin level to get with Luigi. I gave up. I shouldn't have. I think there's an additional level if you do that. Played that quite a bit. Mario 64 played through many times. But then you got the 2D games. Super Mario World, definitively, I can just easily say that's my favorite 2D Mario game. But after that, Super Mario Bros. 3, nostalgia's telling me that's the second one. But just level design and pure, like, making me feel almost like I was playing Super Mario World in HD is New Super Mario Brothers U. People love to shit on that game and that series. New Super Mario Brothers U, to me, was right up there with Super Mario World once you got past the first two worlds. So it's so hard to like just easily or confidently put these in any kind of order. I mean, mixing them together makes it even more of a clusterfuck, and I just honestly can't put them in order. I mean, I just can't. Mario 64, yeah, if I play it today, I can say, oh yeah, definitely the new games play better. But when that game came out, it was just mind blowing how well they took 2D Mario, put it in a 3D environment. All the moves they gave Mario, all the moves he has today, they gave him those moves in Super Mario 64. The wall jump, the butt stomp, the back side flip, the back flip, the triple jump. All those moves were in Mario 64. Even had a punch and a kick, which they never brought back, but they have other ways to attack now. So anyone that's like Galaxy, Mario 64 is just not as good. You probably didn't play it when it was brand new. And, by today's standards, yeah, it doesn't look amazing. The camera controls are a little frustrating or fight you at times. But the game still is very playable to this day. And it's a testament of this great controls and great mechanics and level design that game is still fun today. Now, if you played it today, like recently for the first time after having played Galaxy first, it's just like I was talking about iTunes earlier. It's just about music. The same way. Paramore is a band I really love. I bought like their second or third CD first, and that's my favorite one. But any like longtime fans, they say the first CD is by far the best. It's kind of the same thing. It's what you played first. Usually ends up being your favorite, because after that, you play the other ones, and they're not quite the same. Especially with 3D Mario games, they change so much that it's hard to like. You just feel like they're completely different games, and whatever one you played first. Well, I like Galaxy. I like this hub world. I like the planets and stuff. Then if you played like 3D World next, or went back to Sunshine, you'd be like, whoa, what is this? This isn't what I like. This isn't what I love. But I'm not going to comment on a ridiculous list I just seen. Because everyone has their own opinion. Galaxy 2 to me is definitely, just from the one playthrough, top to bottom, was just the most well executed of the 3D Mario games. Got rid of the annoying the purple comet bullshit. We had to feed the Luma every freaking time you want to move the comet, and just finding the rooms for the levels or getting to them was a chore. Some people like that. I didn't. But anyway, it's just impossible to fucking put these games in any kind of order. They're all great. Mario platformers, other than New Super Mario Brothers 2 and some of the like Game Boy, like the 3D Super Mario Lands, which I didn't really play. From Super Mario Brothers to fucking New Super Mario Brothers U, the 2D games have all been really high, really great, amazing games, other than New Super Mario Brothers 2, which just didn't have the level design. It wasn't very, you could tell the top team wasn't involved. New Super Mario Brothers, the original Super Mario Brothers 2 was so different. I never really got into that one, but they've just been great games. They've all been great games. There hasn't been a ton, like Odyssey's only the 7th 3D Mario game ever since 96. So I mean, there hasn't been a ton of them. And then just getting on to Odyssey, I was focusing more on the things maybe that I wasn't loving. And it's been another week. Played, according to the Switch, like 35 or more hours in the game. If you couldn't tell, I was really struggling with just the whole concept of the moons and how you found them versus just 120 stars of the past games, or getting to the flagpole, clear cut. Here's a level. You start here, you get to the end, and you can use your skills to get to the end. That's where I was struggling the most with Odyssey. I've come to terms with it more now. That's been another week. Beat the game, doing the post game stuff. There is some very enjoyable challenges with. If you haven't beaten it, you played the game, you've obviously seen the little metal box. Well, that becomes something in post game, and in there's some challenges where it throws you into a room, and there's one where these waves of purple poison, and you got to jump on these platforms. Really challenging. They give you a frog if you want to use that. I've seen somebody do it without, which takes super skill. I tried it, couldn't get it done, so I had to use the frog. But that kind of stuff, love it. I went back to New Donk City, post game, and did some of those challenges. I found a lot of stuff I didn't find the first time. A couple of rooms I didn't go into, and I just posted a 30-second clip on Twitter right before starting this podcast. You walk into this theater, and there's an original Mario Brothers on the screen, and go into the warp pipe, and then you pop up on the screen. It's just fantastic. It's one of the highlights, if not, it's probably tied for second best moment in the game. And I don't know if it was there in the beginning. I just missed it. Just amazing. I love New Donk City. I thought that was going to be the least interesting of all of them. That environment is just so fun to just run around in and get to the tops of the buildings and find different ways to get up high and jump to different areas. It's just so good. I finally did the jump rope 100 jump rope challenge, got that moon. And the 2 moons I have left, one is tied to parking a stupid scooter on top of a building, can't figure that out. And then the other one, something to do with the Sphinx. Otherwise, I have that all the moons on New Donk City. And I gotta say, since my last video, I've not really been anything other than just in gaming bliss while playing Super Mario Odyssey. So, I mean, it's definitely, if I had, if I didn't just say that, forget those lists, I would say it's definitely climbed my list. Like, it's ahead of things now, in my opinion. Like, it's just a wonderful game. And, it's going to be game of the year contender for a lot of people. To me, it's just, there's nothing going to come close to Zelda. So it's not even really, worth debating for, with me. Zelda's just easily number one. Like, there's nothing in the last 25 plus years or whatever that's come close to playing Breath of the Wild. So, but Mario's just a great game. I'm really enjoying it. I got 621 moons. I wasn't going to get $9.99 until I seen Red Knight posted about it, and it said opens up a new kingdom or something there's something that happens. So now I'm like, well, I'm going to have to. There's a lot of boring moons and a lot of buy-in moons with coins. I don't love that, but I'm definitely going to do it. I'm going to not, try to rush through. I'm just going to pick away at it. And I might have to look up a few things because I have no idea about some of these moons that I know the name of. I'm just like, how much time am I going to waste in this kingdom? Like, I only have 1 moon left. Am I going to look it up? So we'll see if I get to that point. I'm going right now in a certain order. I'm following a certain person around. If you beat the game, you know what I'm talking about. Revisiting areas, doing those new challenges, the new moons that open up when you enter the kingdom again after you beat the game, and then just really enjoying it. So that's it for Odyssey. And again, confession time. I was just, I don't know, I was a little frustrated about the whole idea of the moons. I hadn't accepted it yet when I made my last Juice Opinions, and you can basically forget everything I said in that video. The little bit of annoying time wasting moons that I had done, I haven't done any since, are just so minimal compared to the rest of the game. And then I can't sit there and say, well, the replay value is not going to be there when I've never replayed Galaxy 2. And I always have said that that's my favorite Mario game, period. So, it is what it is. It's one of those things where I couldn't make a top 10 movie list today and then 2 months from now make the same list, like even without watching any other movies, I'd probably still reorder it. Same with top 10 songs or something. Or it's just so hard because it depends on how you're feeling. And you know, Odyssey is easy to say, yeah, this is definitely the best Mario game because you're playing it right now. You know, if I go back, turn on my Wii U and play some Galaxy 1 and 2, and I might be like, you know, maybe these games weren't as good as I remembered. Or maybe I'll say, well, yeah, this is what I missed. You know, it's one of those things. I'm definitely a flip-flopper, which we're going to talk about next, my next confession. So I've been saying for a long time that I want to support third parties on the Switch. I just hadn't decided. For the longest time, it was going to be NBA 2K18. And then, you know, that whole downloading stuff. And then it was going to be FIFA, and then no friends lobby. And then I was thinking LA Noire. And there's a 14 gig download. And then what was the other ones I was thinking? Well, I was thinking Skyrim, Rocket League for sure. You know, Doom. Was I going to get Doom? I made a whole video saying I wasn't buying Doom based on things. And then what are the other third party games? I don't know. I'm probably missing one. It's probably an obvious one, but I bought a third party game. I supported a third party game at Best Buy. I've had a $15 in rewards sitting there, and I was going to use it on Xenoblade Chronicles, but I'm like, you know, I want this game. I'd pay full price plus for this game. So why use $15 rewards on a game I want? Why not use it on a game that I'm on the fence about, and it make my purchase a little easier? So if you're my friend on my Switch and you looked about half hour ago, you already know what this game is. So again, confession part 2 is forget everything I said in my I'm not buying Doom video. So yeah, I bought Doom on the Switch, and this, you know, it's opened and in my system right now. So all the reasons I said I wasn't going to buy it kind of still are there. The reasons I bought it are as follows. Last Saturday, sitting there cooking some food, T's like, are we gaming tonight? It was like 8:30, 8:40. I said, why not? What do you want to play? He's like, I don't care. Mario Kart, Splatoon, ARMS. I was like, all right, let me finish up. I'll be on. Put in Mario Kart, and I'm just like, yeah, this is cool. I forget T didn't want to play racing, so he got out right away and turned on Splatoon. And I'm like, I played like 6 matches. And I'm like, I'm good. You know, I'm good for this with this game, probably forever now. Put in Splatoon 2, played, and we played a couple matches, and then the maps changed. Oh, Moray Towers, like the first 4 matches, Moray Towers. And I'm just like, A, I hate Moray Towers. B, I'm sick of playing the same map over and over in this game. With Splatoon 1, it was worse because of the 4-hour thing. But with Splatoon 2, the 2-hour thing doesn't make it a whole lot better. And so we're playing, and I'm just getting murked by Splat Charger guy. And somehow I can't even get, it was on the, what's the name of it? It's one with revolving kind of platforms. So I turn it on. I drop down like just from my spawn, one drop down, then the next is kind of the main area of your spawn. There's already somebody from their team there. And I'm like, I went straight there. This guy covered 75% of the map and is already there. Whatever the reason, I don't know. And we played, and I tried my damnedest to have fun. And it's like, it's just not there anymore. I'm sorry. Splatoon 2, you're too much like Splatoon 1. It's the reason I almost wasn't going to get the game. Now I have like 65 hours in the game, so I feel like I got my money's worth. And the single player was enjoyable, even though the final boss sucked compared to the original game. But Splatoon 2, you're way too goddamn much like Splatoon 1. There's a new weapon coming out, and it's another, what do they call that? It's the long range It's not the Splattershot Pro, but it's the long range weapon, and it's another one of those. And it's like Splatoon 2 at the very least should have launched with everything Splatoon 1 had, every single thing. Now you have all new specials. That's cool. You got new maps. Barely any, hardly any new maps. It should have had everything Splatoon 1 had, plus all the new stuff. Not, hey, we're going to bring this new map and this new gun, and it's Splatoon 1 stuff. That doesn't add anything to the game for me. It's not making me want to play it more. I was already kind of on the fence about the longevity of Splatoon's online for me, even before I bought Splatoon 2. But the fact that you're just adding all this other old stuff to try to like recapture that feeling of adding content to Splatoon 1 when you're just adding old stuff that was old in Splatoon 1, like, I'm sorry, I can't get excited about that. So we played, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm bouncing. Let's play ARMS. And played ARMS, and T, Twilight, Terrell and I played, and Robert as well. And then T and Robert went and played basketball, and it was Twilight, me and Terrell. We played ARMS like the rest of the night. I could have played that game all night, but I'm like, so I really only have one game I truly want to play online consistently. So that's where Doom comes in. Now, I am pleased to report after a mandatory 7.7 gigabyte install, I will say, heads up, if you're like, well, I'm just going to play the single player, I don't care about multiplayer, well, they kind of changed their tune. Now it's forced download. You can't just optionally download the multiplayer. You have to download the multiplayer. So 7.7 gig, you can't even play the game unless you download it. It won't let you do anything. So be warned, you better have 8 gigs available to if you're going to buy the physical. But the multiplayer, I go in, there's create a match, find a match. Then you hit the Y button, pops up in the bottom right corner, pops up like your online status. Hit X for friends. Oh, Nintendo Ultra, I could join his game. I think it was it Unforgiven? Somebody else wasn't joinable. You can send them an invite. Now, like T said, it's a shame we got to get excited about standard features in a game, but it is nice to know that friends you can just create, and then it looked like it had slots up to 10, 12 players. Send invites to your friends, and then just create a custom match, or you can go play randoms. You can play against bots. So all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to some team deathmatch type of stuff with the guys. We'll see how it all works. On Monday, we'll be able to tell you how it worked out. But just the fact that they had everything in there from the get-go, we didn't have to complain about it, get it patched in like NBA with the Friends lobby. It's all there. So let's talk about Doom, the actual game, running on the Switch, docked. It's fucking blurry. I'm sorry. As much as I'm I'll probably get over it eventually. Going from PC, it's not just going from the PC version. It's just the beginning area with the outdoors and Mars and the wind, dust blowing. Like the texture quality, I knew it was going to be low. It makes it really hard to kind of distinguish like areas. Like, can I jump up here? Like it just really is a blurry game, and it sucks, but that's just one of the sacrifices. On the flip side, the character moves just as fast, and you can turn just as fast as 60 frames per second on PC. I don't know how they did it. It feels like a 60 frames per second game. You move forward super fast. You don't have to walk, fast. You can hold it, just the analog stick a little bit and go slow. But when you're going full speed, and when you turn, I have the sensitivity at 50%. I took off the, what do they call that? The thing that's supposed to like, God, I forget the name. If I had my Switch here, I'd look. Basically, without Call of Duty's did it on the Wii U, and it's like when you turn, it's like your momentum. It like gradually helps, like accurately, supposedly help you aim more accurately because it instead of just stopping on a dime, it's like got some momentum or something. I don't know what it's called. I turned that down. I'd never liked that stuff. And I cannot believe how fast you can turn left to right. The problem is with the game being as blurry as it is, when you do that, everything, it's really hard to distinguish enemies and stuff from the background. Now I've seen video and I've heard when you're inside and it's not trying to do all this like sand textures and stuff, that the game does look way closer at that point to the other versions, and I believe it from the footage I've seen. And there's not a whole lot of outdoor stuff. It just sucks. Like people say, I can't believe this game got running on Switch. I believe they could do better. I believe they could get the texture quality up or the resolution up. I just don't think they wanted to invest that much time and effort into it. Now, it's a good port, and the other side of this is the audio. That's one of the huge factors of Doom. And unfortunately, I have a 5.1 surround sound, and I'm an audiophile. I'm very picky when it comes to audio. They captured most of Doom with the audio, but I'm guessing reducing the file size down, audio is one of the things that had to take the hit, other than the textures and stuff. So the music isn't as, during the combat, all the sound effects and the music kind of mute each other instead of on the PC. And I'm guessing PS4, Xbox One, with a full 50, 60, 70 gig file size, you have that full range of audio. So while the cutscenes and when the dude's talking, it's an awesome surround sound. When the music plays in the intro, it's great. But when everything's happening at once, when you're shooting, when there's enemies yelling, and the music's, heavy metal's ripping, and then you do glory kills, like the glory kill audio's like significantly reduced. It doesn't even make a sound sometimes. Maybe this is a glitch. You can adjust the sound effects and the music and stuff separately. I'm thinking about, but I was like, I want to hear the sound effects more, but I want to hear the music more. So I forget what the third option is to turn down. I think it's the voice. So it's a little bit of a negative. Yeah, the surround sound's really good and stuff, but it's definitely sacrificed with compression. That's just my theory. But overall, it's a good port. I just still think, I think a year from now, maybe even less, I think developers are going to figure something out, and we're not going to have to see so many sacrifices to get a game running on the Switch. But again, the 30 frames per second is not an issue. I'm hitting enemies no problem. I'm using the Pro controller. It feels great. I haven't noticed the HD rumble much because I only played for 10 minutes, so I have to focus on that and actually tell my brain, hey, listen, feel for the rumble and pay attention to it. But I'm looking forward to online multiplayer. I'm really hoping that it's a fun, addictive thing. And with Rocket League coming out, hopefully I got room for that on my Switch. I got 9.8 gigs available. I'm not sure how big Rocket League's going to be. Might have to pick up an SD card for 30 at Best Buy. But looking forward to having like a good amount of online multiplayer games for game nights. But if you have Doom and you want to try some online stuff, probably tomorrow night, T and I for sure will be playing. We'll have to see how the lobby system works exactly. But overall, and I forgot to say, I paid, was it 30? Shit. Because I bought a movie at the same time. I paid $50 with a $15 movie. So $35, I think, for Doom. 36 maybe with tax. That was the final fact. That's when I decided, yeah, I'm going to do that. $36 for this game. Yeah, I could have took that 15 and put it towards something else. But like I said, why put it towards a game I'd gladly pay full price for? Why not put it towards a game I'm kind of on the fence about? And then if I trade this in, I paid 36. It's a $60 game. I'm wondering what my trade-in value is going to be. I don't think I would lose anything if I was like, you know what? I don't want this. I'm going to trade this in. I think I'm going to get nearly what I paid for it back. So really was a no-brainer in that regard. So, but looking forward to playing more. And the online, there's no first-person team deathmatch game on the Switch. So I've seen some footage it looks more like Halo than it does Call of Duty or anything, but I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully everybody, if you got the game, we can all get together. I know keep my friends list a little slim on my Switch just because there hasn't really been that game where you need like a bunch of people. Like Arms is great. We do a lot of 2-on-2, 4-player lobbies. And then Splatoon's just easy to join. Somebody can just join your lobby real easily. You don't have to set anything up. But so yeah, we'll see. I usually don't just add people unless I recognize, like if you're in this chat every week and I recognize your name, I don't have a problem adding somebody like that. But it's somebody like first time I've ever seen them comment on a video, it's like I don't know you in any way, shape, or form. I'm not gonna know you when I turn my Switch and I see, the problem with a lot of people, they choose, it's like your console name and stuff. They choose like their name or some random name that has nothing to do with their Twitter name or their YouTube name. So I got people on there like, Joe or something. It's like, use something that's tied to your account so that if I add you, I know who the hell you are. Like, I don't have to remember, well, who the hell's Joe? Like, who is he? Like, I don't want to have to do that. So if you're gonna, you don't have to, but for people, if you're on YouTube, you have a Twitter account with a name, try to make your Switch name that so that, when someone like me adds you, I can associate you to the person on Twitter or in the chat here who I'm like Unforgiven. When we played Splatoon, his name's Unforgiven, so it's just easy. Salty Bacon. See, I didn't know, Anthony. How am I supposed to know you were Salty Bacon? Like, it's just too confusing, and that's a problem with the Switch, really, because you have your Nintendo Network ID, which they don't use, and people can just choose random names for your Switch, and it's not tied to like, oh, you can't use Joe because Joe's already in use. And 100 people, 1,000,000 people could have their console name be Joe. That's the problem with the Switch. That's Nintendo's fault. But I would just say, it would be beneficial to have a name that relates to your Twitter account or Google account so that it's easy to recognize, hey, Salty Bacon, I know who that is. Salty Bacon on Twitter, not Anthony on Twitter. So it's just from somebody who's got a YouTube channel and gets friend requests a lot. I'm just, giving some tips to people because I go back through my friends list and I'm like, I don't know who this person is. I deleted somebody and they're, hey man, you deleted me. And I was like, sorry, I didn't know it was you. I didn't know who, I couldn't associate who it was. And then he's like, well, I haven't been online in 2 months. Well, there you go. I'm going to delete every once in a while. I'm going to go through, so-and-so hasn't been on their Switch in 2 weeks. I'm going to delete them pretty much. I've never seen them jump in a Splatoon match. I might delete somebody down the road. It's just, I don't want it there as like, hey, look how many friends I have. And then people I never play with. Like, I want people on my friends list to be people I can count on to jump on and play online games with. That's kind of and I know Zobi70's Monkey on there, which I forgot till today. I was like, who the fuck's Monkey? And then I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, looked at Japanese demo of Monster Hunter and Japanese demo of Sonic. I was like, oh yeah, that's Zobi. I had to think about it for a second. So, it's just one of those things. I know it's Nintendo's kind of problem that they make it so easy to just have some name and it's got a limited amount of characters. You can't just make I can't spell out Terminator Juice because there's not enough characters. I had to put T-Juice, that's on Nintendo. But, I try to make it, hey, that's Terminator Juice, T-Juice, so people can associate that and not just come up with a name like Joe Blow, and then you're like, who the fuck's that? So, but Zobi, you like Mario Odyssey? I haven't seen a video about it from you. Curious if you're liking that game. It's definitely it's a great game, and like I said earlier, forget my video last week where I was kind of focused on a few negatives. That game is just control perfection. The controls in that game are so perfect, and it's just crazy that Nintendo can improve even the slightest on the last 3D Mario game and the one before. Like, how do they keep making controls better? it seems like there's no room to grow, and then they find a way to make it play even better. And a guy at work, he's been playing it on lunch, and I don't bring my Switch in. I forgot to say this earlier. I don't play Mario Odyssey in portable mode, mainly because I'm like, I want to experience this on my 65-inch, and I want to be playing with the Pro Controller. I just cannot stand the Joy-Cons for platforming. For Mario, I didn't like it in what was the one that I kind of felt like I was SteamWorld Dig 2. I do not like the Joy-Cons for platformers because holding Y button to run and then trying to jump with the B, my thumb keeps hitting the frickin' right analog stick. It's too close and directly below. I wish they'd come out with a updated or give me the option to buy a Joy-Con with a staggered thumbstick, a little more width to it, and some grips on the back, and I'd go ahead and spend $80 and buy some Joy-Cons. But I know Nintendo's not going to do that. Zoe said 70's got a big Switch video coming, waiting for Xenoblade. Yeah, that's, I mean, shit. 20 days, 21 days, 3 weeks, Xenoblade. That's crazy to think that game is already that close. And as many hours as I put in X, like over 200, it's like, is this going to be another 200-hour game for the year? Like with Zelda being, I'm at 250 hours. It's crazy. But yeah, split Joy-Cons with Odyssey. I tried that in the beginning. I felt like, oh, this is awesome. I'll tell you right now, you guys may disagree. I feel Super Mario Odyssey with the Joy-Cons, you cannot pull off advanced moves, period. I can't pull off advanced moves. It's just, like I said, the right thumbstick's in the way. The buttons are so small and close together. I'm trying to do the little throw the cap, dive, bounce off my cap move. I do it almost 99 out of 100 times with the Pro Controller, and I'm failing constantly with the Joy-Cons. I tried to play in portable mode last night. I missed the last half of the show on demand. You can't fast forward, so I let it play, and I was like, I'm gonna play some Mario, and I just had to give up on one of the Koopa Troop races. I just couldn't do it. I just can't control. The controls are like, you can beat the game. You could play the game and beat it with the Joy-Cons in portable mode. I mean, it's doable. But if you want to like excel at the game and pull off advanced moves, I'm sorry, the Joy-Cons just, they're not even close. Once you play with the Pro Controller, yeah, it sucks. You got to spend $73. But once you play with the Pro Controller, the Joy-Cons, to me, it's only there for the occasional portable mode. And another game I don't plan on ever using the Joy-Cons is this guy right here. I'm gonna play in portable mode just to see how it looks, just to give you guys impressions on Monday. But anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna go dive into Doom single player a little bit more, get my control, my sensitivity, everything dialed in. I'm gonna jump online and see what it's all about. So thanks to everybody. Just real quick, since I was talking about portable, and Nintendo did that survey where they said, like, what is it, 60% or 50% of the people play equally portable and docked, 30% play majority of the time in portable mode, and 20% play majority of the time in docked mode. I'm part of that 20%. I would say 90+% of the time my Switch is docked, and I love it that way. The screen's great. Joy-Cons aren't. So portable mode, while it worked for a few games, really good for Mario plus Rabbids. Zelda, it's not bad, but everything else, you're really handicapping yourself, honestly, playing in portable mode with the Joy-Cons. Fast RMX, handicap. SteamWorld Dig 2, felt like I was handicapped with my platforming skills. Mario Odyssey even more. I think Doom's going to be the ultimate, hey, these analog sticks have no travel. I can't aim for shit. Like, that might be the moment that people realize that, that the Pro Controller might be the way to go. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. And we'll see you on Monday for the Juices Loose podcast, where we get Terrell and Robert's impressions on Sonic Farces, Sonic Feces, and then talk about Doom. Hands-on impressions from Mizza T, myself, Terrell. I don't think he's getting it. Robert's waiting, and so is Retro Death, I believe. So that's going to be it. Look forward to the podcast on Monday, and we'll talk to you then.